Welcome everyone to the Friday edition of Political Voice. I am Jude Ikami Jude. Nigeria is sitting on a time bomb that can lead to a revolution. Adeyanju is warning the president, Ahmed Tinubu. And plus, why social media must be regulated. And this is also coming from Femi Gbajabiamila. Well, these are the topics we will be tracking this evening. Before we dive in, let's take a look at global politics. Well, we'll begin in Africa, where Khalifa Sall, a former minister and mayor of Dakar, says Senegal's election postponement, inspired by President Macky Sall's, is a coup d'etat that allows the president an illegitimate third term in office. It is a coup d'etat that doesn't speak its name with the change in the law. He, President Sall, is entering a third term of office, even if it will be incomplete. Mr. Sall, one of the favorites, is in the presidential race, told newsmen in an interview on Thursday. Now, since he will be president after April the 2nd, he is violating essential provisions of the Constitution and the Electoral Code, he added. Senegal's election postponement has generated local and international condemnation, with the US, EU, and ECOWAS calling for urgent solutions to the lingering political crisis in the country. A former Indonesian president and chief of its biggest party has advised ministers not to quit outgoing President Joko Widodo's cabinet, and media reports of possible resignations over his perceived meddling in next week's presidential election. In a rare interview, Megawati Sukarnoputri said she had advised the influential finance minister and her own party, the PDI, and Peace, 5 ministers to stay put or risk destabilizing the country. Her remarks comes just days of Indonesia's presidential and legislative elections on February the 14th. Defense Minister Prabowo has been leading in opinion polls, followed by former Jakarta Governor Ariel Baswedan and ex-Central Java Governor Janja Provanowo. An elderly President Joe Biden will not face charges for knowing taken classified documents when he left the vice president in 2017. A prosecutor said on Thursday, drawing a swift rebuke from the president as he sees re-election. Special counsel Robert Hoare said in a report that he opted against bringing criminal charges following a 15-month investigation because Biden cooperated and would be difficult to convict, describing him as a well-meaning elderly man with a poor memory. Biden is an angry rebuttal, said his memory was fine. Brimming with emotion during remarks at the White House, he lashed out at the attorney's suggestion that he had forgotten when his son, Bill, had died, and said the accusation that he had willfully kept the classified material was just plain wrong. Hall's conclusion ensures that Biden, unlike his expected 2024 presidential rival Donald Trump, will not risk prison time for mishandling sensitive government documents. And now to the focus of the day. Let's get talking. Let's come down to Nigeria and talk now. Human rights activist Deji Adeyanju has warned that Nigeria is sitting on a time bomb of economic hardship, kidnapping, and of course banditry. Adeyanju said the effect of the time bomb Nigeria is sitting on might drive Nigerians into a major revolution in the shortest possible time. Now, in a statement, he urged President Bola Ahmed Tinubu to partner with churches, mosques, and traditional rulers in a bid to reduce corruption in the National Social Investment Program, the NSIPs. According to him, Adeyanju, By doing so, the government can mitigate the risk of political interference and ensure that funds are utilized transparently and effectively, reaching the intended beneficiaries. If urgent measures are not taken to cushion the effects of these hardships, we fear that the mass protests may erupt across the country, potentially leading to a serious revolution. We must acknowledge that there is a limit to what the people can endure if President Tinubu genuinely cares about the well-being of the citizens and seeks to alleviate their suffering. It is important that he reinstates the suspended programs that can provide much needed support to ordinary citizens and the vulnerable, according to him. Meanwhile, the Christian Association of Nigeria, CAN, in the 19 northern states and Abuja today expressed concern over the prevailing harsh economy, declaring that the suffering in the country was becoming unbearable to ordinary Nigerians. CAN also bemoaned the security situation, saying all the talks about peace may be mere rhetorics until the government tackled the hardship in the country head on. This is coming on the heels of similar concerns raised by the Sultan of Sokoto, Alhaji Muhammad Abubakar III led group that urged both the federal and the state government to intervene in the prevailing economic hardships which had forced Nigeria into protest. Now, in another separate development, a chief of the Ohanes Ndigbo social cultural organization, Okechukwu Izigusoro, on Thursday, that was yesterday, urged the President, Bola Ahmed Tinubu, to urgently engage Director General of the World Trade Organization, WTO, Dr. Ngozi Okonjo-Iweala, former Education Minister, Obi Ezekwesili, and of course the President of the African Development Bank, Akinwumi Adesina, in finding a lasting solution to the economic hardship confronting Nigeria. Ezegusoro said that the success of Tinubu's administration lies in his consultation with these world-renowned economists. Now, the factional Secretary General of the Ohanes Ndigbo urged the President to initiate a comprehensive overhaul of his economic team because they lack innovative ideas, competence, and determination to navigate Nigeria's economy out of this current quagmire that we find ourselves. Now, joining me to discuss or to direct these topics in the studio is Mr. Adesina Akim Lasisi. He is a political analyst. A very beautiful evening to you.
Thank you very much.
And welcome. More, so much more is playing out in the polity now. I mean, Adesina is saying a whole lot to President Bola Ahmed Tinubu at this point in time. And of course, he's saying that if care is not taken, that Nigerians will be forced to, move into the street and thereby causing damage, and a whole lot he said. Do you think that this current situation will transform to the situation being described by Adeyanju?
Only God knows. What Adeyanju has said is just advising him that, look, we cannot just continue like this. When you came on May 29, 2023, you promised to hit the ground running. You must have understudied the situation before you put yourself forward that, okay, you want Nigerians to vote for you. And Nigerians voted for you. And if you look at what happened between that time and now, it's not something that someone can be cheerful about. Look at the price of a bag of rice as at that time that it came on board on May 29 was 35,000 naira. Now it's at how much? A bag of beans was about 40-something thousand naira. How much is it now? Almost about 80.
Do you also see a revolution coming?
It depends, because people can endure, but when you push people to the wall, there is a way. Look at what happened in Tunisia, the Arab Spring. It started from somebody. You could see that vendor that was selling something, a graduate. He set himself on fire. That triggered that revolution, and you could see what the result that came out of it. Are you getting me? Therefore, the way Nigeria is now going now is an advice to Tinubu that, look, wake up. Things are getting out of hand. Try to address this issue. That is just the advice. You can say everybody is now talking. Everybody is now telling him that, okay, the kind of talking, the Islamic body are also talking, the Arewa, the Ohanese. Before, they kept quiet. It was when people like us came on board and said, okay, look, why are these people keeping quiet? And they have seen things are getting worse every day, and you kept quiet. Because if it happens, it will consume everybody. And I don't pray for that. It's an advice. It's advice to the president to do the right thing. You promise to do things better. I have not seen the way you are doing things as if you are trying to do things better. Because you surrounded yourself with these Lagos boys. And if you think that the way you run Lagos when he was a governor is the way he will run Nigeria, it's two different things. Because Lagos, there's no way a fool can rule Lagos because of the potential we have in Lagos. Are you getting my point? Then when you are now surrounding yourself with those people, they lack the ideas. This is Nigeria. Tell me, what have they been able to do since about 8 months in the office that Nigeria can say, yes, this is what we have been able to achieve. This is what.
The federal government says that Nigerian citizens, people should be patient with the government. They should be patient. They should calm down. That things will be better.
That's what I don't like to hear. You promise to hit the ground running. Let us see the impact gradually. If you could remove subsidy, and you believe the problem of Nigeria was that subsidy, that gain of that subsidy, we must have been seeing the effect. Let Nigeria see the effect. Look at now, they are saying that they want to bring out rice, gari, and millet from the reserve. Okay, they have all those ones there, and they allow things to get to this level. And we are not in war. If you remove your reserve, how do you replenish it? How do you get it back? The basic thing is that people are not going to farm because of insecurity. And I've been saying it. Let Tinubu secure Nigerian first. Other things will fall in line. We lack production capacity. What are we producing?
Security first, you said.
Yes, security first. Security first. Address these things. Let's be confident in people that if I can go to my farm, I won't have any issue. Then, you see, Nigerians, more than 200 million. Our problem is that we don't even know how many are we. Any policy being introduced is just a drop in the ocean. It will not make any difference. Because we don't really know how to plan, because we don't have the data. We are just using this 5-brigade approach to do things. And that's why we are getting all these results. Because this wuru to the answer will not get us a better result. We need to sit down. And I've been saying it, security. This economy we are talking about, it is when a country is secure that you can think about the economic issue. When the country is not secure, how will development come into that country?
Let's also point out what Deji Adeyanju said. He said that he urged the president, to partner with churches, partner with mosques, partner with traditional rulers in a bid to reduce corruption in the National Social Investment Program. Why bringing in churches, mosques, and some of the platforms or some of the groups now to come into these and help reduce, what do I call that now? The level of theft that has been done so far in the country. For instance, he says if he brings in the churches, mosque, that would help reduce corruption in the National Social Investment Program. I mean, the question people are asking is, why are you bringing in churches and mosques into this now?
I don't even understand. this is the duty of the government. Why you bring the religious sector into all these things? Even these religious sects are even the problem of this country.
Oh, you think so?
Of course,
How
I've been saying it. When you see Chinese, about 500 Chinese gathered in a place, they're in a factory. When you see 500 or 1,000 Nigerians gathered in a place, they're either in a church or in a mosque or in a party. Are you getting me? And if you, as we are now, we cannot even produce to feed ourselves. Look at all the industry we have. Most of them have left. Most of the industry have left. We are not producing anything. Then the churches are not even helping matters. Most of the factories have been taken over by the churches.
But you should understand that Nigerians were religious people. Of course, we listen to our imams, we listen to our pastors, our clerics, you know, we listen to our bishops and all of that. So don't you think maybe that's the reason why Adeyanju is saying, bring in these people, all right? Bring them. They have a role to play in all of this.
You see, we are not being sincere with ourselves. And that's the point. We may be praying. We can be praying. Look at, there was analysis I read in the paper that Nigeria was the second prayerful nation in the world after Afghanistan. If you look at those nations, Afghanistan, Iran, these are terrible nations. You see, God has given us everything. We are the one deceiving ourselves. God has, look, what else do we want God to give us in this country that has not been given to us? But for us to analyze it and for the betterment of our people is the problem. Instead, we are going to church to pray. Instead, we are going to mosque to pray. I'm not saying people should not be praying. It's a personal thing. And I've said it. Look at, most of the moribund factories have been taken over by churches now. And that is when you are in a situation like that, that's the kind of thing you see. I've told you, Chinese, when you see Chinese, at least 500, 1,000 guys, they are in a factory doing something. But in Nigeria, you are either see them in a church or in a mosque or in a party.
You know, several times, government has always given out funds to people, you know, to the talakawas, to the poorest of the poor. But sometimes it doesn't really get to these people, all right? So one of the reasons why I think Adeyanju is saying we should bring in, you know, religious bodies is to be able to control the flow of funds. That if you give it to the religious pastors, the mosque, if you give it to churches and mosques, then they will be able to control these funds and get the funds to the real people. Don't you think so again?
We are Nigerians. And the fact that we are Nigerians, I highly believe that anything that you think that you will do, that, okay, this is what I want to do, whether it is a religious body or another body, as far as it is it's still Nigeria, there is a way they will sabotage it. You understand what I'm saying? There is always a way. You see, one thing is this. I have been saying it. There's no policy that they can introduce. It will not make any difference. It will be very, very insignificant. Go through the churches. How many of, like what I was on the social media, I saw a truck in a mosque. They were distributing yam to how many people? Can it go round? Are you getting me? More than 200 million people. Then you are bringing out little things. Look at the palliative they promised us the last time. How many households did he get it? How many? That's just the point. You can just say, okay, go through this, go through this. It is Nigeria. It's still going to be Nigerians. And you see Nigerians, the way we do things, party things, whether it is a religious body or not, it's still Nigerians. That's just my problem. What I'm saying is that government will first do the right thing. The right thing is to tackle that issue of insecurity.
Religion, we've been talking about religion in Nigeria. And let's look at it from a different angle again. Recently, or before the election, or before and after the election, we had some prophecies by some pastors, some clerics, saying that there's going to be a revolution. Is this the revolution that we're talking about? Do you think this is the revolution that they're talking about?
I don't pray for any revolution. But what I will employ our leaders is to listen to the cries of the people and do the needful. But if you are taking people for granted, anything can happen. But for me, I don't pray for a revolution. That's just it.
He said we must acknowledge that there is a limit to what the people can endure. Nigerians endure, yes or no?
Of course.
And he said if the president, Tinubu, genuinely cares about the well-being of the citizens and seek to alleviate their suffering, it is important that he reinstates the suspended programs that can provide much needed support to ordinary citizens and the vulnerable. Programs like what? What are those key programs that you think that the president should bring back?
You see, there's no, if you introduce a policy and you think this policy is hurting Nigerians, I don't see there's anything wrong in reversing it. This issue of subsidy, though all other candidates agree that they will remove subsidy, but with different approach. His own approach is too harsh. It was too harsh. Why am I saying this is this? You increase an essential commodity that Nigerians have been enjoying over years by 375%, and you expect things to go normal. It will not. And I'm saying this issue of subsidy removal is what is creating all this unnecessary tension. If you want to remove subsidy, it will have been a gradual process. It's like someone going to a dentist and who is having a problem with his tooth, and the dentist just decided to remove the tooth without giving such a person the necessary pain relief. You see, it will even affect the body. The pain will even affect the body. It can even lead to death. Okay, you remove subsidy. Are we saying that, okay, the subsidy you have removed now is the rich are becoming poor now. The poor are becoming poorer and dying. Only the politicians are enjoying. The politicians are the one enjoying. And if you see that this policy is affecting Nigeria, yes, you are getting more money. You are sharing more money to the state. You are getting more money, by the federal government is also getting more money. But what are the impact of those money? Even the time we are exporting fuel, we are exporting fuel. All the money we generated that time, how did we manage it? How did we manage it?
You see, we've heard from the Arewa group. We've also heard from Ohaneze and Dibo. We've not heard from what do we call them? Afenifere. We've not heard from Afenifere. Now, in all, would you now say that what other political parties have been saying is true, especially what Atiku Abubakar said recently?
I'm a Yoruba man. I can claim to be an Afenifere because I believe in the philosophy of Afenifere. And you understand? And I've been talking. You understand? You know, we have two factions in Afenifere now. One that supported his presidency, and the one against it. But despite that, he has become the president. If you see the man doing the wrong thing, it's for you to come out and explain and tell him that, okay, look, what you are doing is not right. Forget about whether it's a Yoruba man or Igbo man. That's my problem with Nigerians. I'm not criticizing Tinubu because he is a Yoruba man. I'm criticizing because he's not doing the right thing. If it has been, I criticize Buhari. Initially, I fell in love with Buhari, but along the line, I criticized him that, look, you are not doing the right thing. But the fact that because he's a Yoruba man, when you see him doing the wrong thing, you don't talk. I don't support that.
The Ohaneze and Dibo has said, told the president to bring in the likes of Ngozi Okonjo-Iweala, bring in addition of what's it called now?
World Trade Organization.
African Development Bank. Yeah. And a couple of persons, even Sanusi, Lamido Sanusi, some persons have also clamored that he should come back. The president should bring him back, and a couple of other persons. Do you think that the president would be willing to do, to listen to this cry by Ohaneze Ndigbo, bringing in these people? Do you think the government will look at it like, it's true, we don't have a clue to this thing?
You see, as a president, the buck stops at his table. He has the right to select his team. And if at the end of the day, he did not get the result, he still have the right to change them. Because J.L. Weller was once a minister during Jonathan. You understand? Additional also worked under Jonathan. If you look at the performance of Obasanjo to that of Yar'Adua and Jonathan, which one do you think you will say, okay, better? Obasanjo era was far better than Jonathan. That's why many Nigerians voted for APC, because the way our economy was going that time. Are you getting my point? Now, and I said, as a man, and I have conscience, I always judge performance of a leader at every election. I don't place sentiment whatever the decision I make. I judge their performance. And I cited an example one time that, look, when Obasanjo was leaving, what was left in foreign reserve and the SS school account, you Google it. When Jonathan was leaving, what was left in that foreign reserve? If you are a man of conscience, will you continue that party to continue power?
Wait. Do you think we have a competent economic team?
Now?
No.
I don't think so. If you have competent economic team, the situation would have been like this. 8 months in the saddle will have made a difference. I don't think so. Let him just remove this issue of these people have worked with me before, and I want to. They will continue working with me. That is Lagos, because Lagos is a special state.
And do you think the president will want to overhaul his economic team at this point in time? Because you already called them, in quote, Lagos boys.
Yes, of course. They are Lagos boys.
Do you think he would want to overhaul the entire economic thing?
And it will be putting him in a shame if you don't do the right thing. Because everybody is crying now. Everybody is complaining. And you say because you want to be loyal to some people. Which loyalty do you need? Is it not the result you want? If they cannot give you a result, you change them. And I've told you, you don't say because they have worked with you in Lagos and they are the best to work with you now. No, it's a two different scenario. Are you getting me? It's a two different scenario. Lagos, we had money. You use money. Nigerians did not even bother about what is happening in Lagos because he was in control of everything in Lagos. But this is Nigeria for you. Can you say he's in control of Zamfara? Can you say he's in control of Katsina? And say what is happening in Katsina? Say what is happening in Zamfara? Say what is happening in Benue? And this is Nigeria. It's a very complex country. Very, very complex country. That's just it. If you think you have a team and they are not giving you results, you change them.
There's another issue at hand. Yes, there's another issue at hand where the chief of staff to the president, Femi Gbajabiamila, says social media has become a societal menace and must be regulated. In fact, Femi Gbajabiamila, while responding to the President Bola Ahmed Tinubu at the launch of a book written by Babatunde Fashola, former Minister of Works, on Thursday in Lagos, stressed the importance of accurate information in policy, formulation, and of course, national development. He warned against the danger of using social media in the dissemination of wrong information, which has almost torn the country apart, stressing the need to regularize the framework of news dissemination on social media to avoid misinformation in the country. Now, let's break it down now. Do you think we should, at this point in time, address social media?
They are only afraid of their shadow. And what I want to say is that there's no place they can hide. They can't hide. They cannot hide. Nigerians are wiser now. And if you say, with what we are saying, then social media is the best thing for you to attack. I don't see you as a serious government. It's not the problem now. If not because of social media, who will have known that a salary of a soldier, a bag of rice, the price of a bag of rice is more higher than the salary of a soldier? You see, they like dishing out false information. If you know that the social media are giving us wrong information, come out with your own correct information. But they don't have the correct information. They are deceiving us. They will only tell you this, and at the end of the day, they will do different things. Then, through social media, you'll be able to know the facts. Because you cannot fool everybody at all times. You understand? There are some that I even know how things work in the system, and they will bring it out through social media. But if you think that, okay, is it the problem now? Is it the problem we are facing now? The social media is the problem now, that they now say they want to gag it. If you are doing the right thing, who will have bothered about social media?
Do you consider this as gagging the media, starting with social
Yes, of course. You see, but this is democracy. But I'm even surprised that all these things are coming from this set of people. These are the people that have been in opposition. They have been very, very critical about previous government on issues like this. And they are now there. They are the one out trying to introduce all these things, which means they are hypocrites. They don't love the people. And I've told you, they are rulers, they are not leaders. What is their problem with the social media? If they are doing the right thing, the people will praise them. Let the price of Gary, let the price of rice goes to about 50 or 30,000 now, and see how the people will be praising the government. Do the right thing, and people will praise you. But if you fail to do the right thing, look at the palliative they promise as a result of the removal of the subsidy. How many people did you get that? That's just it. They will just be dishing out false information, and people will be getting their own alternative information. They will say you want to gag them. It seems you are not serious. Because if you are serious, you'll be less bothered about social media. Face the problem squarely. Kidnapping here and there. Hunger in the land. People cannot afford to send their children to school. Instead of addressing all those ones, you are tackling the social media.
Do you think government is now scared of social media or news, or fake news? Which one?
Is what you are saying, is it fake? Is it not what is happening that we are saying? We are telling them what is fake about what we are saying. Okay, to some, they will think that okay, we are just criticizing them.
No, they feel any information disseminated through social media goes faster and quicker.
That's why I said technology has helped Nigeria to be wiser now. Unlike before, they just dish out information. People will not even know. I mentioned that issue of soldier. I did not even know that the salary of a soldier was that amount. Are you getting me? Even not from social media. The man even said it. That look, I was in the bush for almost a year. They gave me pass to go back to my base. 35,000. To come back 35,000. My salary 50,000. What are we now talking? Is that wrong information? Is that fake? Is that fake news? Is that not the reality?
Let me read something out quickly. He said that the social media has become a societal menace and must be regulated.
To them. To us, it's a blessing.
Because you're not in government.
Because yes, let's take it like that. But we keep on telling them that's a blessing to Nigerians, because through social media we know what is happening.
He said, as many people do not understand that once the send button is hit on social media, there is a potential to reach millions of people around the world, which is capable of causing a great danger, not just in the society, but even, unintended consequences to the individuals that are receiving information, which may include security of life, in quote.
what we are passing through now, is it not worse than what they are intending that the social media is doing? What we are passing through now. You see, they are afraid. I'm telling you, they are just afraid that with the way things are now, they need to guard people so that they won't be able to know what is happening. They are just afraid. And there's no way they can do it. If you look at the countries that they have tried all those things, that country cannot be. If Zimbabwe try it. How can you describe that country as a country now? It's a pariah state. Because when you are denying your people the right to information, then what are we now saying? And what are they afraid of? Are they doing the right thing?
No, they say the citizens are too interested in the activities of government.
Of course, they are there. They are the public figures. They need to brief us every minute, every second about what is happening. The last time we went to France on private visit, if it has been another advanced country, they will have been telling us what is doing there, what is happening minute by minute, but not in Nigeria. He went there and look at what happened in his absence. He could not take that as an emergency to come back. You can see the kind of leaders we have. You can see the kind of leaders we have.
Well, according to the statement, we as citizens are supposed to rest on government to give us the vital information that is true, not to rely on social media or any other.
The government are not giving us any information that is right. Are they giving us any information that is right? They said by December we will be enjoying. By December of 2023, did you enjoy? The refinery will start working by January. This is February. Look at the money that they have been putting into that Port Harcourt refinery since the era of Jonathan. That refinery has not been able to produce a pint of oil. Then money has been allocated, and some people collected that money. Nobody has been querying on that. Are you getting me? And you say the government will come out and tell us the truth about it. Okay, all the money collected from Abacha that they said they spent on all those things, like Lagos-Ibadan Expressway, the refineries and all these things. At the end of the day, what happened to that refinery? They promised January it will start production. Now we are in February again. We are in February. Obasanjo sold those two refineries during his era. Now they said it was sold to his cronies and they reversed it. Since then, we have been spending money on those refineries, and nothing has come out of it. And people have been collecting that money, and nobody has been querying on it. Nobody has been punished. And is that government? Can you believe that kind of government? There's so much amount, that huge amount being spent on a particular project and no result. You see, it is obvious. Everybody is seeing all this. Social media is awakening everybody. I'm not saying the social media is also perfect, but like me, if I see any information, I can easily dissect it that, okay, this is fake. You see, people will always abuse things, like government do. They do things like that also. They will abuse things. But the social media, but if you look at the gains, the importance of social media to
I also wanted to ask you the benefits of social media so far. I mean, has it done more harm to the system, to the Nigerian people than good? You know, from social media we get a whole lot of things, and by extension, I wanted to ask if you believe 50% of what you see on social media in Nigeria.
To me, I've benefited a lot on social media. It has done more good than harm for me. But the government will not see it in that light, just because they are there. If they are not there, they will not have been saying this. Are you getting me? If they are not in that position, they wouldn't have been saying what they are saying now. They have said it about for the previous government through social media, attacking them, doing this, see this. But now they are there now. They are now being haunted by their own past.
No. Do you fear that in time to come, or in the shortest possible time, that the government will come out fully against media houses in Nigeria?
It will be very bad under democracy. If anybody is even contemplating that, that will be the last straw that will destroy this nation. You see, the beauty of democracy is that freedom of speech. You and I are sitting here just because we are in democracy. You express your mind. If you feel bad about anything, you have the right to take that person to court. Yes, if you think any media house has gone out of its way, there's a way to correct that. And there's a process. Instead of clamping down on them, you claim damages, it's even be to your own benefit. Are you getting me? Instead of just clamping down on them, democracy, freedom of speech is allowed. Therefore, any government contemplating of gagging media houses, I don't think that government is serious about it.
You know, by extension, when you get outside the shores of Nigeria, you know, to probably Europe or in America, you find that the media has, you know, every right to do whatever they want to do. For instance, the media can say whatever they want to say, take documentaries of any political personality or anybody at all, and nothing would happen. For instance, you look at the conversation between the media, I mean, Trump and what's the name of this media in America, how there was this conversation that wasn't going down well between Trump and, you know, the media. But here in Nigeria is different. You know, even the populace wants to query why they don't have the right to say whatever they want to say at a given time.
The Nigerian media, they want to be blamed. If you see something,
like you don't have the free flow of whatever energy to want to see anything against the government.
If you see something, say something. That's why you are there.
No, it's not in Nigeria.
It's in Nigeria. Even the court has ruled. There was the NCC that there was a case in court that said, okay, there's a way to gag all these things, that they should not be. There are certain things that like Arise, you know, Arise and other stations like that were fine about that. There are certain things that they're supposed not to release to the public. Now they went to court. The court ruled that, okay, under democracy, it's allowed. If you feel offended, you go to court. That's the beauty of democracy.
But are we practicing democracy, true democracy in Nigeria?
We will continue to say that, okay, we are in democracy. Maybe it's not perfect democracy. Our own democracy is not perfect. Gradually, we'll get there. If we have people like us talking, the people, when you see something that is wrong, you start talking, and they are listening. Gradually, that will be changing. That's just it. We cannot say you cannot be in the class of America. It will take time, but gradually we'll get there. That's just my assurance.
Now, instead of, before we begin to wrap up, instead of gagging the media, what would you have advised the government to do, to focus on?
Insecurity. The hunger in the land. Those are the two major things that are affecting Nigerians now. Gagging media or gagging the social media is not the problem we have at hand now. Insecurity. How to reduce the food inflation we are facing now. How much 1,000 naira? What can 1,000 naira buy now? You cannot feed yourself with 1,000 naira and be okay. Those are the two fundamental things that I think the government should do now. If there's a need for them to import food to stabilize things first, it's allowed. Are you getting my point? People are hungry, and an hungry man is an angry man. And when you see somebody that is being angry on issue of hunger, he can do and undo. But I don't pray Nigeria to get to that level. That's just it.
But probably a state of emergency, right? Will do.
State of emergency on what? On insecurity? Or a state of emergency on what? On economy? Which state of emergency? We are already in an emergency. It is for the government to sit tight and do what is expected of them to do. all these rhetorics they are giving out is not working. Let them do the right thing. If they do the right thing, Nigeria will support them.
All right.
We praise them.
All
I'm
right.
even expecting that he should perform, because I will be the first person that will praise him.
All right. In case you're just joining us, and let you know what we've been discussing. There is a fact that the Chief of Staff to the President, Femi Gbajabiamila, says social media has become a societal menace and must be regulated. Yes, Femi Gbajabiamila, while responding, representing President Bola Ahmed Tinubu at the launch of a book written by Babatunde Fashola, former Minister of Works, on Thursday in Lagos, stressed the importance of accurate information in policy formulation and, of course, national development. He warned that the danger of using social media in the dissemination of wrong information, which has almost turned the country apart, stressing the need to regularize the framework of news dissemination on social media to avoid misinformation in the country. He also emphasized the importance of data in policy formulation for the growth of the country, stating that no developing country can succeed without adequate and well-informed ideas. He said his administration has no objection to engage in evidence-based discussion and data-reliant decision-making, hence the need for accurate data that will be used to better policy formulation and, of course, execution. He said that the social media has become a societal menace and must be regulated. Well, as many people do not understand, according to him, once that send button is, when the send button is hit, there is a potential to reach millions of people around the world, which is capable of causing a great danger, not just in the society, but even on intended consequences to the individuals that are receiving information, and that may include security of life. Now, as citizens become more interested in governance, it is the government's obligation, according to him, to ensure that engagement, yes, with citizens spring with shared agreement on what the truth is, what is real, and what is not real. Well, let's leave it there today. I want to say thank you so very much to you for coming.
Thank you very much.
Thank you again.
Yeah, thank you.
All right, people, that's the size of our package on Political Voice this evening. Well, you do well to subscribe to our YouTube channel at Voice of the People TV and at VOP TV Live on other social media handles. I am Jude. Ikami Jude. Have a beautiful evening.